Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to The View. Last Saturday at Superstar Shakeup, we conducted a necessary examination of the Danny Dojo's structural weaknesses, and while the result was acceptable, there were still inconsistencies, gaps, technical flaws, a lack of what I like to call mental polish. And so, boys, I'm still waiting for excellence. But tonight I have decided to elevate our curriculum. Tonight, I bring in a guest speaker, a man who is no stranger to success, a man who has achieved heights that Danny Me never even pretended to reach. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason, Ruthers.
Order in the House of Reason. And thank you, Stephen, for that reasonable introduction. I've been watching your little classroom here, and quite frankly, it's refreshing. Finally, someone on this godforsaken brand with standards, structure, expectations, unlike Danny Mean, who runs his dojo like a youth club with less supervision. Now, let's talk about these two students of yours. Jackson Reed. Oh, Jackson, you won your accountability match. Bravo. Really, it would have been more impressive if you didn't need Steven to hold your hand the entire time. And look who we've got here. Freewin Paxton himself. Honestly, kid, I don't even know why they keep booking you on pay-per-views. You're the least relevant PPV wrestler in the history of this company. You're not even an underdog. You're the warm-up loss people get before they wrestle someone who matters. They should hand out loyalty points to anybody who sits through one of your matches. Congratulations, you survived a Zach Paxton performance. Redeem for a real wrestler next time. And don't get me started on the delusions you're developing hanging around Stephen Carvel. That man's grading you like a school project, and even then you still can't pass. You're not even extra credit. You're a typo on the homework. And speaking of typos, let me take a second to talk about somebody who doesn't even belong in this conversation, but somehow still manages to annoy me. Lachlan. Yeah, you, lurking around LBN like a bad smell, thinking you're one rung above irrelevance. Buddy, you're barely ahead of Tommy two-time on the ladder. And that's only because Lowry occasionally wins when the planets align. If Lachlan spent less time obsessing over his skirt and more time actually wrestling, maybe he'd have something to offer. But no, every time he steps into a ring, you can see his minge. And every time he actually starts wrestling, I cringe. It's embarrassing. You're in my rearview mirror, Lachlan, and even then you're just a blurry little smear on the glass. But make no mistake, boys, I say this as one of the all-time greats, a pillar, a leader, a man who has carved his name into the very marble of this industry. You two are lucky that Stephen Carvel is trying to drag you from mediocrity into relevance. He sees something in you that I frankly do not. But don't worry, the voice of reason has spoken. Whether you rise to greatness or sink back into Danny's shadow is entirely up to you.
A powerful message from a powerful mind. Zach, Jackson, I hope you were listening, really listening, because this is what accountability feels like, what excellence sounds like. Zach Paxton, you clearly need time to reflect. Take the night off, recuperate, regroup. And Jackson, it's time for your reward. Yes, your effort on Saturday, though imperfect, warrants an opportunity. Join me at the ring. Let's show Warzone what potential looks like when guided by the proper vision. Sit back, reflect, and enjoy the view.